easy access throughout the system. So top banner of this page here, we have our search bar. And this here is visible no matter where you go on the system. You have the keyword search here, which is great for looking at projects, locations, companies, etc. And then we have our navigation bar here, and that's visible no matter where you go on the site, and it's just for easy navigation through. Then next up, on the left-hand side of the page here, we have our saved searches. So our saved searches are created using lots of different criteria, whether it be for sectors, funding types, value, and users would go in and they would deem everything that they would see relatable to them. And once they have that saved search set up, moving forward, if there is any projects that match any of the criteria that we've keyed in, then it will notify us in the email. And as well as that there, if we jump onto the system, we'll see little status indicators like this one here as well. Company searches, they work a little bit differently. So with a company, if you do a company search, we have roles that are available there. And we can save that for active architects, contractors, or whatever role throughout the construction or project lifecycle. And as well as that there, we can also utilize the keyword search within this as well. And that's great for targeting groups of companies and then different industries, education authorities, etc. as well too. Then in the center of this page here, we have our track projects and track companies. So once you have all your searches set up, and you're looking at opportunities, the moment that you would deem an opportunity available or relevant to us, what you can then do is go ahead and then track the project. And then moving forward, if there is any updates to that project, you'll get notified in your tracking email. So we have two separate emails that go out to our users. The Save Search, which is our group updates, and then the Track Projects, Track Company emails that is more for the individual updates, whether it be on a project or a company. And the moment that any user on this system tracks a project or company, they'll be able to add notes, recall dates, and then if you have a multi-user account, so more than one user on the system, we can then go ahead and assign that user as well. So yeah, with tags, this is something brand new that was added to the system about 6 months ago. And what this allows you to do is to categorize your tracking list into unique lists. So then you go ahead and then export any information from those lists. And the same thing applies for companies as well. So if you want to group them as residential developers, then we can do so by just clicking on the tag here, create new tag, and then selecting whatever we so choose. So the use cases for this can be quite universal as it is a keyword. But yeah, use cases that I've seen with this here would be any users that have sector variables, split up service and supply, or say if you want to do just a tailored report, then you can add it to a list, call it week name or whatever. And then once you're happy with that there, what we can do is we go into the view all and filter here. Um, and then we select our tag. So you saw that one that I added there called demo. So if I apply that here and then apply filters, then we'll be able to see that tailored list generate here. And if it is something that we need to export, then we can go to export here and two functions here. So we have Excel and PDF. Excel, if we want to further refine down any of our lists, and then we can pick and choose throughout all these fields here as well. PDF gives us a nice read view where we can scroll through. It's also really good for identifying keywords, which I'll showcase a little bit later on. Yeah, so that would be it for the tracking side of things. And again, with company, we can go ahead and we can do the view all and filter too. And say if you are tracking lots of different projects, what we have available now too is view on map. And this allows users to have a bit more visibility when it comes to their tracking list. We can go into any of them here, and then we can also further refine them down by their sectors, etc. too. Now, again, if we have multi-users on the system too, if we want to see what everyone else is tracking, we can go ahead and then look at the tracking list from here. But the great thing about this being added to the project search page is that we can go into our tracking lists, and what we can do is we can identify keywords using this here. So one thing I always say to users is always look through the descriptions, reference numbers, because there would be keywords that we're able to pull out that may assist in us trying to further refine our searches down to. Okay, moving on then, we'll have a look at the highlighted projects. So this here is pretty much just projects of interest that our research team will populate and change throughout the week. And this pretty much is just down to the project's relevance, if it's circulating in the news and media, and then also from our website metrics based on view count, etc. too. Then down below here, we have our Q1 activity report. I'll jump into that at the end and show you guys a few ways that we can utilize this, make the most out of it, and then identify top projects, top companies too. So again, quick recap then on the dashboard. So all in one home hub page, we have easy navigation here. We have keyword search up at the top. Our saved searches are for group updates. We key in all the criteria for what's relevant to us, and we can generate as many of these reports as we want. And once we're happy with that, we save it, and then moving forward, if there's an update or a new project that gets added that matches the criteria, then we'll get notified in our email alerts. In the center then, our track projects, lots of different features that we can utilize here. We can add notes, recall dates if it's not the right time for us to get involved. We can also assign users if we have more than one user on the system too. And as well as that there, we can also filter through, categorize, have a look at the map, further refine it down. And another great thing with the track projects list too would be our alert history. So as well as receiving your emails too, what we can do is we can click into our initials at the top right, go to your account, and then we have full visibility of all our tracking updates from this alert history page. And if we ever want to change the frequency of our alerts, we can do so from this page here as well. Okay, moving on then to company searching. So the layout of searching on this system is the same for both projects and companies. Your list will all be here. All the filters are available from here. And then we have our save search and export function here as well. So with company searching, lots of different ways that we can set up searches here. If we want to do an activity checker on a certain role, what we can do is we can go main contractor, then date updated in the last week. And let's say if we're specific to a certain region, NI or Republic of Ireland, then we can select there too. And then once we're happy with that criteria, we can save it here. And then moving forward, if any main contractors update, start a new job, then we'll get notified of it through our email alerts. Now, other great use cases for our company search on the system would be the keyword search here. So some of them would include, so if I type in club here, we'll be able to have full visibility of any sports clubs throughout Ireland and Northern Ireland, whether it be GAA, soccer, rugby, etc. And again, we save that search. If there's ever a sports club update moving forward, then we'll know about it. And we'll also know the company that's involved, or the club in that case. Another great one would be education. Now, education is quite broad, but we can break it up in lots of different ways. If we're looking education and training board, then we know that's for a department down in the south, and then education authority would be for the guys in the north. And then, of course, if I do skills here as well, we'll have the education and departments of skills here too. Now, if we work in civil, we can type in infrastructure, and that will populate the same way too. And then pretty much any companies as well. So if I type in CISC here as an example, they have multiple offices across Ireland again too. So again, if I want to be kept up to date with all their offices, all I have to do here is save the search with alerts enabled. Okay, so yeah, lots of different ways that we can set up the activity checkers throughout here. And another great way of keeping on top of companies too would be to use the tracking list. And again, if we want that visibility of that alert history page with all the updates listed in chronological order, then we can track them all here. And then all our updates will be in our tracking email and then also fully visible from that tracking alerts history page too. Okay, so moving on then, we're going to have a look at a company within the system. So CISC is an example here. And pretty much from the moment you open up a company page here, you'll have all their information ready to go here. And then also all the projects that they're currently working on and the ones that they've done in the past too. And we can filter through it on this page using stage and location. And I'll show you a way to further refine down them lists as well. Now, another great thing with this as well is if we're ever interested in a project from the list or the map too, if we click on it here, what will happen is we're given this peak view page. So it gives us a brief description, lets us know who else is involved, any key dates, and then our researchers' recent description on it too. If we decide from that point, we can track it ourselves. And again, if we have multi-user, what we can do is we can assign any of the team that project to track, follow, and report on. Now, another great use from this page here would be our company connections too. And there's lots of different ways that we can utilize this here. And the relationships between roles in the construction industry is all listed throughout here. And sometimes what our users can do is they can see certain relationships with companies frequently working together. So if we have our pipeline searches set up before contract stage hits or any other stage like that before the role gets involved, we can have a look at the relationships there, see how many projects they're working on, and maybe get the early jump on that project as a result from that there. So yeah, pretty much it gives you a full breakdown here, tells you who they're connected with, the role that's involved, and then the projects in common. And if we're ever interested in the company and we want to see more of their pages, then we can click this link here and we'll be brought to their project page here. Tracking information is also available from here too. So if we want to categorize this company or assign users, make notes and recalls, then we can do so as well. And anytime we make a note or a recall on the system here, we'll have full visibility of that as well. So just as a quick example of the visibility within notes. So if I click into this one here, what we can see here is that I've added Enda to the trackers here, and Enda here has said, thanks for sharing the project, and then set a recall date based on his activity with the contractor there. Okay, moving on then, we're going to have a look at just further refining down the companies. So again, what we can do with any company on the system is we can make use of the keyword search. So I've copied their title name here. And if we paste that up into the top here and hit enter, then what we'll see, all right, let me see, I'll just change that to exact. Then what we'll see is all the projects from that company page into this page here. So if we want to export that list, further refine it down to the sectors, funding, etc. that we need, then we can do so, export the results, save the search, and they'll be kept up to date that way. Now, with project search page, exact same layout as the company page here with lots of more filters that are available here. And our users, once you have your Save Search set up, it's pretty much just a case of opening it up here and having a look. So if I go into this here, then I'll see this list, design stages, commercial and residential. We can have a look through. Green to indicate a project that's completely brand new. And then any projects with updates will be indicated with that red indicator there. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll just go through all the filters here. I'll talk through how they work and take it from there. So for this one here, this is categories, all your sectors and subsectors within here. We can search for any of them just above here, and then we can click to expand on anything of interest from here. So for this one here, I'll keep it to commercial and residential. We'll do office and then apartments and developments. Student housing on our system is listed under hospitality, guest houses and hostels. And then we can just hit apply here. Up next is our location on this system. We have lots of different ways that we can search by location. So if you're out in the go and you access the system on your phone, what you can do is you can use our GPS and location search. Pretty much just scroll in with your phone and then you can have a look at it there. Another great way would be our map, which what we can do here is we can pretty much draw a radius around any area, and then that will show us the projects within the area. And great use cases for this here is, say if you set up a little radius around your office, if you're in civils and you have a quarry, what you can do is you can set up one there within a certain range. And another great use of this too is if we're focusing on a certain area or town, we can use the polyline just to highlight that there, and it will give us our own bespoke shape with the exact same functionality there too. Okay. Moving on then, with this other location, we have country, then province, and then county here. So for this one here, I'll just select ROI. And up next in our filters here is our materials. So this is another amazing filter that our research team have populated and been working on for the past year and a half. And pretty much how it works is that our research team would dig into the plans whenever submitted, have a look through, see if there is any materials that we can specify at that point, and then we'll publish it on the system. And what users can then do is they can go through all the materials that are available here, highlight anything of interest, and if any projects have them materials attached, then it will populate in the list. Now, there would be sensitive variables to this here, as sometimes whenever plans get submitted, the materials here won't be mentioned, and the same can apply for projects at the later stages. It's all about whatever information is available to us, and also within the secondary research process as well. Yeah, so for materials, I would always say to users, if we're using this here, please ensure to set up a separate save search, just so we're not missing any projects through the cracks. But yeah, with anything that we're ever interested in, say if I did timber frame here, we can select that here, apply, and then we'll see a list of projects that are all timber frame within there. And again, lots of different materials that we can go over there as well. So yeah, if we ever have any questions on that, or if you think there is a scope for your materials to be published on the system, feel free to get in contact with myself or research, and we would be more than happy to see the implications in getting that material published on the site. Up next then is our stage filter here. And this filter here would capture the current stage of the project. So at CIS, most of the plans that we would receive would be when plans are submitted. Pre-planning projects or projects that our research team can pick up through news media and then also socials as well. So for this one here, I'm going to keep it to tender, contract awarded, and on-site. So the contract stages there. And then up next, we have value here. So on our system, all our projects are priced by Shell and Core, and users can use the scroll wheel here to input the amounts, and then they can also use the max here as well. Now with this as well too, we can also input the amounts by just clicking here as well. So for this one here, we'll keep it to 1 million plus. Up next is our date updated. So with this one here, this will just show you how many projects have been updated within the selected time frame. We have a few pre-configured ones, and then we can also use the calendar here below as well. Another great use for this here as well with users, I would always recommend. So if we're setting up any searches, we can have a look at how many projects we're getting on a weekly, monthly, and bi-monthly period as well. So I can see here within the last week, there's 40 projects that have been updated. And if we do the month, then we'll be able to see that 118. So in and around 50, 60 a week with it there, or within 2 weeks is available there. Okay, moving on then to our additional filters here. So lots of great filters within here. I always recommend users to make the most out of these here and try and configure it to the best way possible, as it removes as much irrelevance as possible. So to start this off, we have construction types here, whether if it's a new build, change of use, refurbishment, demolition, and then retention there at the bottom. Then next up is our dates filter here. So this one here would work a little bit differently from the stage filter. You can see all the stages are pretty much within here. What this search does a little bit differently is it would capture how many projects have been updated within that timeline, but it also captures then projects that have moved through a stage as well. So lots of use cases for this one here. If anyone ever wants to have a look at projects that have moved within a selected time frame, they can do so. And then if you also want to set up a few pipeline searches, you want to see whenever the decision date comes in the next time frame, then we can do so as well. And the same applies for start date as well there. Okay, next filter then is our metric search. So another great filter within here, if we're using traffic management systems, we can go into the parking, put that up to 100, or say if it's apartment buildings or we're only working with buildings over a certain story, we can also do so. And the same as well for say landscaping, flooring, and then also units as well. Now, moving on, we're on to roles here now. And this is another great filter as well. It would be a refinement filter, as I would see it. And what this does is it captures any projects that have any of the highlighted roles within, and then you'll see them populate. So if I select main contractor here, then we'll be able to see all the projects that have main contractors attached. But yeah, with this one here, there would be sensitive variables with separate roles within this here. So kind of similar to the material search, I always recommend to people just to set up a separate search if they're looking for certain subbies, etc., or more specific roles to architects or main contractors. Okay, next up then is our funding types. So if we want to have a look at the private public, then we can do so. Any of the bundles, we would do PPP, and then part government funded at the bottom there as well. Next up then is our planning authorities here. And this here would pretty much be another location filter. It would grab the jurisdicted area of a council whenever highlighted, and then it would populate the projects within there as well. Project Scales next, and this is for users that would be using our self-build service. I won't be going over that today, but if it is something to interest you guys, feel free to drop me an email after this here, and I'd be more than happy to take you through it and show you how it works. Okay, so now that we've set up our search and we've had a look through all the filters and we're happy with all the criteria given, what we can then do is we can then save the search here. And again, if it's a new search, we save it as a new search. Or say if it's an update to this one here, say if I'm moving this to contract stages, then I can go in, select the search, and then update it from there. Next up then, we have sort by here as well. So we can sort by ascending, descending on date updated, start date, and project value. And if we want to get rid of the map here and have a look at the projects in this list view, then we can do so as well. Now, finally, then with our projects here, what we can do is we can export. So I have a good tutorial online just about exporting to Excel and making the most out of it. Be happy to send that off to any of you guys if it is something of interest. And then we have PDF here as well. So a great thing with PDF, and I always say to users, what we can do here is we could identify a lot of keywords using this here. So this might take some time to upload. Let me just see. There we are. Lovely. So great use case from this here would be identifying of keywords. So what I was saying earlier with our tracking list, once we have them developed and they're all relevant projects to us, what we can then do is export that list. And then using this PDF file, if there ever is a certain keyword that we're after, what we can do is we can do Control F. And then from that there, what we can also do is ABP. So ABP would be the reference number for scheme housing in residential. And you'll see there that there is 21 projects. And what users can then do is scroll through. And then from that there, they can then build their keyword index, keep note of it, and then refine their searches down further. Now, lots of different keywords that we can also use throughout this year. It's just about using the system as much as possible. I would always consider this system to be a lot like a gym membership, as the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. And again, I'm always here and always happy to help and support. So if you ever have any questions on making the most out of the system, advanced searching, etc., feel free to just write to me or give me a call. Okay, so project searching then, lots of different ways that we can refine it down. We can identify keywords from exported searches. And then once we have our searches set up, it's just a matter of going through these projects whenever it suits us best, and then looking through the projects, tracking them opportunities, and also opening them up. So if it ever is a project of interest here, what we can do is we can have a quick read through and then open it here. And the moment that we open the project here within the system, we'll have full visibility of all the research that our team have done, any key dates, links to all the documents, files, tender information, developer information, all available from this page. On the left-hand side, so pretty much the exact same as you see on the Peak View pages. We have download as PDF here, we have track project, and then any link projects to this will also be available here for a quick click. Our researchers are also added into our projects here, and they're always there to help and support. They have lots of experience within searching within their sectors, and then lots of relationships with all the companies involved. So if you ever have any questions at all about any of the information, feel free to just contact them here. And if we're ever involved within any projects and we want to get our company published here, what we can do is write to the researcher and they'd be more than happy to put your company information, contact details within there as well. In the center then is all our key details. So all the filters that we went over would pretty much be in here. You'll also have visibility of any of the metrics. You can see start to finish dates within here, the planning authority, the reference numbers, and then some of the metrics that are compiled down at the bottom. Then right-hand side of this page here, we would have all the companies that are involved within here. They all come with a contact name and their contact information. And if we want to see what else the company's doing, then all we have to do is just click this here. Now, with the contact information too, we are at the final stages of reviewing our GDPR policy. So our researchers have gathered up direct contact info for majority of the companies on the system here. Once that policy gets finalized, then our team will flip the switch and then the direct contact info will be available there. So yeah, something that's in the works. Hopefully we'll have that ready to go soon. Then next up then is our materials here. So again, any of the materials that our research team can find during their process will then be populated here, and they're all searchable filters within our system too. So tracking's also available here. So track follow report, all available here. If we want to set recall dates, we can do so. Nice and easy calendar view here. If it's not the right time, then we can set it here, save our note. And then once you have that set, it's just a matter of clicking into this page here and and then any of the upcoming recall dates will be available from there. Then finally, with our project search page here, we have our timelines. So pretty much from the moment a project gets published on this site, any updates that are ever made will be listed here. They'll also be timestamped, and then you can go ahead, look at the descriptions and the updates from there. Okay, so yeah, that would pretty much be it for the system here now. What we're going to do is just have a look at our Q reports here and the best way to utilize these ones here. So all our reports are all available from this page here. Our Q reports available here. And then if we're ever interested in our blog posts or reports that we publish too, we just click other reports here and then we can download them all from here as well. Now, into the Q reports page, and with this here, at the end of each quarter, our insights and research team compile all the information in which they have gathered, and then build this dashboard and populate it with all the changes, aggregates, comparisons to previous quarters, etc. So yeah, first page on this system, we pretty much have all our sectors and subsectors within here. And then we have a few filters up at the top. So if we want to change it by status, we just click here and the information will then change. Same with the region here. And all our subsectors are within here. And throughout this BI page, it's very interactive no matter where you go on this system here. So if I expand and if we want to just focus up on the Dublin region here, we can highlight that there and then the information will then change with the comparisons to show you that there. And again, if we want to look at a certain subsector within, then we can click this one here and then we'll see that information change there as well. So moving on then, we have a few sector focus pages here, and this page here would be our multi-sector. So with these pages here, we get a few of the metrics that are available, and we also get the projects, project value, a floor area, and then we get a few charts, regional and then construction values within here, and lots of different ways that we can utilize this one here. So say if it's a certain subsector that we're involved in, I'll just highlight education for here. Then we'll see all that information change from here. And if we want to have a look at a few more areas, so say if you're looking into the west, we can click that there and then we'll see the top projects that will change no matter what way we configure it here. So again, if I click into Dublin, we'll have a list of the top projects there. If we click the link into the project, then we'll have the top companies that are available with that too. And again, lots of different ways that we can configure it. We can also drill down in any of the information. And if you want to have a look at it month to month to see what's happening, then we can click into there. And again, so say if we wanted to look at industrial, we can do the same, configure it down, and then we can have a look at the pages within here. If we want to focus up on something within there, then we can do so as well. The next two pages are pretty much configured in the exact same way, only we get a lot more metrics with the residential. And again, we can interpret it by different reasons. If we want to have a look at NI, we can do so there. Top companies within there by month to month. We can click so. We can also drill down, have a look at there as well, and change to funding as well. So yeah, lots of different ways that we can configure this one here to identify the top projects and the top companies as a result from that. And then as well as that, there are our insights team. They also are available for any requests that we may have, say if it's a certain focus within a sector or companies involved, then we can be more than happy to pull out that information by request.
It's big saying he can reapply on Friday and reset his interview in July.
Mute the
And he's saying
participant there. Okay, so that would pretty much be it for this webinar today. I'd be more than happy to take any questions if you guys have any. Feel free to write in the chat or just unmute yourselves and fire away.
Hi, Maurice. Sam here.
Hi Sam, how's it going?
Hi, how you doing? Good,
Yeah,
good.
really good.
I tell you, I literally just joined now. I missed all of it. Is it recorded? Can I see it somewhere?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, I have recorded, so I can send it off to you. I'll probably upload it to YouTube and then make it public for everyone else to see as well. So yeah, if any of you want that recorded information, I'd be more than happy to. And if you're looking at a one-to-one session with myself to have a look at advanced searching or just the best way to utilize the system, then feel free to get in touch as well.
Cheers, thanks.
Yeah. Oh, very late cover there. Great. Oh, great stuff. I'm glad you found it informative, Gavin. Okay, guys. So we'll probably leave it there. Feel free to even write to myself if you'd rather just to have a one-to-one, and then we can go over anything, and I'd be more than happy to discuss any of your questions further too. Now, let me just see. Oh, great. Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you all have a great great day. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Morris.
Yeah, no problem. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Yeah.